In a small coastal town in the 19th century, a beacon of light guided the ships at sea, the solitary lighthouse. Its keeper, a man named Thomas, was a kind yet enigmatic figure known for his eccentricities. Thomas had a brilliant mind but battled the unseen storms of bipolar disorder. When manic, Thomas was a whirlwind of activity. His energy seemed boundless as he tirelessly worked on his inventions, mechanisms and designs aimed at revolutionizing lighthouse technology. His creativity, during these periods, was the tide in full flow, brimming with ideas that could illuminate the world. But the tides would recede, and the storm would settle in. During depressive episodes, Thomas would withdraw from the world, plagued with feelings of unworthiness and despair. The man, who was a beacon for others, felt lost in his darkness. The townsfolk didn't understand his condition. They found his behavior erratic and confusing. Still, they couldn't overlook his invaluable role. His lighthouse was their safeguard, his light their guide through the treacherous sea and stormy nights. One day, during a particularly severe depressive episode, Thomas decided to leave the town and abandon the lighthouse. His despair convinced him that the town would be better off without him. A young woman named Amelia, known for her compassion and wisdom, learned about Thomas's plan. She'd observed Thomas, his brilliant highs and his disheartening lows. She recognized the symptoms of his struggles, her own mother having battled the same. Amelia reached out to Thomas, attempting to make him understand his condition. With the wisdom far beyond her years, she explained his periods of intense energy and creativity, followed by phases of despair, or signs of bipolar disorder. Amelia asked the townsfolk to gather around. She spoke to them about Thomas, about his condition, and about the need for empathy and understanding. She shared her own story of her mother's struggles and how, with support and care, her mother lived a fulfilling life. The town, initially wary, slowly started understanding and empathizing with Thomas's condition. With the town's newfound understanding, they reached out to Thomas, showing him their appreciation for his work, for the countless times his lighthouse had guided them safely. They expressed their need for him, not just as a lighthouse keeper, but as a valued member of their community. Moved by their actions, Thomas decided to stay. He began to understand his condition, the undulating pattern of his moods, his highs and lows, his light and darkness. Just like the beacon he tended, he had periods of bright light and periods of rest. And that was okay. Thomas continued his work on the lighthouse, and with time, he introduced innovations that made the lighthouse more efficient, its light brighter, and its reach farther. His manic periods became a source of inventiveness, and his depressive periods a time for rest and reflection. Light in the Dark is a story of understanding and acceptance. It tells us that even those who seem to be a beacon for others can struggle in the darkness. And sometimes, all it takes is a little empathy, a little understanding to bring them back to the light. For in the end, aren't we all lighthouses in our way, with our moments of light and darkness?